This is Jackie Helvey, and I'm here with Ashton Tippins, who is the executive director of Table, which is a nonprofit organization right here in downtown Carborough. Hey, Ashton.
Hey, Jackie. Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for agreeing to do this. First, I'd like for you to tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be here at Table.
Yeah, absolutely. So I am from Burlington, North Carolina. I went to UNC for school. I majored in Spanish and communications, and while I was at UNC, I was actually a Buckley Public Service Scholar. And so I committed to completing 300 hours of community service by the time I graduated. Well, there were a couple places that I was volunteering. Table was one of those as a team leader. And then I was also volunteering at the Chapel Hill Carborough Human Rights Center. And one of the things that I found that was so interesting that I really just made me love Table more was that some of the kids that I was tutoring at the Chapel Hill Carborough Human Rights Center were the same kids the Table was serving through its backpack program. So I graduated from UNC in 2012 and started as the program director in that August. And then began serving as Table's executive director in 2013, and have
Wow, you've been here a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's great. So, tell folks about Table, what it is, what you guys do. They can see in the background that you're surrounded by food, and some people may not know about you. So let's give us the spiel.
Absolutely. So Table started in 2008, and we are committed to providing healthy food and nutrition education to kids in Orange County, North Carolina. We started in 2008 delivering bags of food to 12 kids through a weekend meal backpack program. And then we also had in-person nutrition education programming as well. We shifted quite a bit with the pandemic, with the way that we work. So the very first week that schools closed, we transitioned to delivering directly to kids at their homes. And that has been something that's stuck. We've been able to provide more food, more variety of food, reduce and even eliminate the stigma associated with receiving food at school, and engage with parents more directly. So that program was the Weekend Meal Backpack Program, and it's now called Table at Home, and we're delivering bags of food directly to about 800 kids every week, or about 450
Wow.
homes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that we've been doing and always done some version of. And then we also have nutrition education in a different form. So we're sending home monthly nutrition kits that are interactive and designed for parents to do with their children. And that's something that's in its pilot form. It's called Chefs at Home, and allows us to provide some nutrition education for our kids.
What a great idea. Now, I have to ask you this. The 800 kids, good grief. Where do you get your funding?
My goodness. We get our funding from lots of different places. So we receive in-kind donations. We receive generous support from our local community. About half of our income each year is from the local community. We certainly write grants. We host events, and we have partnerships with local churches, businesses, and organizations as well that support our work.
So is this a place that people can bring food, or do you discourage that, or what's the process?
Absolutely. We accept food donations all the time. Anytime that we're open, we accept food donations. And even when we're not open, we have a drop box where people can deliver food. So we do have a most needed food wish list. So things that are kid-friendly, easy for kids to open, nutritious, so low in sugar and sodium, are things that we typically request that we can easily send home with our kids.
And you also, this is what I knew about you. You need bags.
Yes, we do. We always need recycled plastic grocery bags, just the standard size. We send out 800 bags every week, and we are double bagging those bags because we put lots of non-perishables and produce in those bags. So we're sending out about 1,600 bags every week. Thankfully, generally they are recycled, so we don't have to purchase those or go get them brand new, but those recycled bags are a huge help.
And people can just, you're located, what's your address here?
209 East Main Street in Carborough is our address.
Right, it's right across the street from Cat's Cradle.
Yes.
But you have big news in that you are moving.
Yes, we have secured a space. We have secured a space for our future home. We're doing a lot of fundraising right now. So we have a space right up the street. It's 311 East Main Street in Carborough. And we've raised just over $2 million to support that space and have another $1 million to raise so that we can move in. So we have my primary focus right now is to raise funds, as well as we have some renovations to make. So funds will go to helping us pay off the bridge loan that we use to purchase the space, as well as renovate so that we can move in. So ideally we'll be able to move in the spring, but it is 100% dependent on funds raised.
Right. That's a big space down there. And this is a bigger space than I realized. Have you run out of space at this point, or do you foresee it becoming a problem, so you're planning ahead?
No, we have we have very little space here. So this current space is less than 2,000 square feet. We have starting next week, we will have 8 staff members, and we're delivering, as I mentioned, to so many kids, so that when we actually, because of our space in part, we have to have 3 delivery days a week. So we're delivering on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Wow.
So we're delivering to about a third of our kids each day. We're missing walk-in refrigeration. We have standard refrigerators that do not store even a significant percentage of what we need to give to our kids. We don't have a loading dock, or at least double doors to bring in pallets. So we currently have pallets of food sitting outside. And so when we get those pallets, they have to sit in one of our 3 parking spaces so that they can be brought in when volunteers have the time. So parking, loading dock, refrigeration are key features that we're not able to utilize to make sure that our operations are done efficiently. So this is something that we've needed. We've always kind of squeezed into a space and just made it work. We were able to serve about 500 kids out of an 1,100 square foot building. And then now we're in our current space serving 800 and up to 850 kids. And just kind of squeezing and making it work until we can get into our new space.
And your new space will have everything that you need.
Exactly. Plus some. So we'll also have a conference room that will give us opportunity to meet and have private conversations, meet with families, meet with other nonprofits and organizations, and even have our board in our space. We currently are not able to meet in person because we just don't have the space, the facility to do so. And then we also will have a roughed-in commercial kitchen to just set us up for success for future needs of our kids and community.
So how do you determine which families get the food?
So mostly families are self-identified. So we have historically and still do work with schools and school social workers and after-school centers even. And that we did a lot of that before the pandemic. And so now in 2022, most families are self-identified, but we do still partner with those organizations and even other nonprofits and government organizations as well, to make sure that that families are aware of our services. And that's one of the things that we're continuing to try to grow in as well, is make sure that our outreach, that we reach out to families that may need our services, so that they know that we're here and can provide support.
Right. So the pandemic in a way was a good thing, because it, like you said, it took away that stigma of the kids having to be at school getting the food. So it's good to know that something good came out
So what I always tell people is I would not want to do it again.
Right.
By any means, and I know nobody would. It was very hard because it was quite a transition for us from delivering to schools to after schools. We needed about 10 to 12 delivery drivers a week, and then when we shifted to delivering to homes, we needed about 45 delivery drivers
wow.
a week. I was pregnant at the time, and it was a lot of changes for our staff too. Staff had to change jobs, like roles within table. Work was a whole lot more hands-on and a lot of moving, and honestly, it had to be less strategy because we were making so many shifts and changes. So I absolutely would not want to do it again, but I totally agree with you. I also wouldn't change it because I think that we learned some really, really important lessons during that, as far as the fact that we could adapt to make sure that we were meeting the needs of our kids and families. We were able to prioritize the needs of our kids and families over even our own in many cases. And ultimately, the fact that we shifted programs, I think that speaks to the fact that we've landed on serving our kids in a better way.
Right.
And so it's been really some valuable lessons that we learned, and we'll continue to learn. And it even really set us up for kind of having this environment, setting up this environment of learning and adapting and taking feedback and changing. So it was a good thing for us, for sure, in the end.
Let's see, I was going to ask you something else. Oh, yeah. So if people want to, do you have volunteers that come in? Or, where do they go to find out more to help you guys, especially in your fundraising effort for your new facility?
Yes, so we have a website, tablenc.org. There you can find all kinds of information, more about what we do, our programs, the impacts we're able to make. You can learn how to volunteer. There's a volunteer tab that you can easily see and check out, and even an easy donate tab as well, donate button. And you can see all of the needs and opportunities to give there as well. And one of the things on there is to give towards our Room to Grow capital campaign. We're actually currently in a matching gift period. So from now until the end of the year, December 31st, we have a generous Chapel Hill donor who is willing to match gifts up to $200,000.
Wow.
Yes, we're really excited about this opportunity, and so we're looking for folks who are willing to support our space and invest in the future of Table and ultimately our kids and community, and give their best gift to help us access this $200,000 and ultimately raise the funds that we need to move into our space and better serve our kids.
A space that you will own. You're not going to be renting it, you'll own it.
Exactly.
So that's a big difference.
It
too.
definitely is. It definitely is. For us to be able to own the space, it will allow us to put future funds back into programs rather than having to spend those funds on lease or the space, because ideally we will be loan free at the end of all this.
Right. Oh, that's fantastic. Is there anything else that you would like to mention?
I think one of the things that I like to share when I'm talking about Table and our space in particular is that right now we're in less than 2,000 square feet. Our future space is 8,000 square feet.
Wow.
Yes, we're really excited about it. We are going to be most likely leasing a part of that space as we transition to needing more space.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that we're utilizing donor dollars well, and the space well. But one of the things I like to share is that this space is not just for Table to have a bigger space. It ultimately is, obviously, because our heart is for our kids and our families, and we want to serve them in the most effective way possible. And this space is necessary for us being able to do it. So we're really excited about the space, and even more excited about what we can accomplish and the possibilities it will allow.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much I'm glad that I've learned some stuff, and I'm sure that people in the community will watch this and learn more, and hopefully come up with some big donations for you guys.
Yes, thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you.